everybody. Welcome to the Ag Update, the Nexus Ag Update.
Hi,
Chad. How you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Good. We're here for our fantasy crop challenge finale, and we have a new face. It's Jeff. Jeff is stepping in for Andy.
Late edition. Late scratch.
Yep. Jeff is just Andy 2.0.
Yeah,
That means you're better than Andy.
I
you're
get along with that. Yeah,
you're supposed. Yes. Good.
Yep.
So should we go around the room and reintroduce?
Well, maybe we should
let's
let's do the
Jeff.
full introduce of Jeff because he's new to his role here with WinField and new to this group. So
yeah. Well, hello everybody. Yes, Jeff Ostrauss. I'm the seed product manager now covering Iowa and Missouri. In addition to this, I've got Wisconsin, Northern Illinois as well. So I am the Andy Dickus 2.0.
Andy, that means he's better. I know Andy's watching this because he's wanting to know who won.
Yeah.
So I do live and farm in Southwest Wisconsin. So just straight east here. What's that?
To be fair, you got two Packer fans right here.
Are you a Packer fan or a Viking fan?
Oh, definitely not a Viking fan.
We're good. See, that's why we're 2.0
yeah,
right now.
We're better.
We're always outnumbered, and Adam. We're always,
his name's Adam.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, whatever.
That's Chaz. I like that.
Chaz.
Oh,
Chaz
God.
Michaels. Anyway, we got off track.
Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead with your intro here.
I'm the new to Iowa seed product manager. So I will be. Am I refereeing or what am I actually? How am I assisting?
You're commentating.
Or am I just
you're being
commentary?
the specialist. You're the
Dean Blandino.
Yeah, no,
some say.
Yeah, maybe rules expert.
Yeah.
Mel Kiper.
Okay.
That's kind of the Mel Kiper.
Basically, we want your input that you gave us on varieties as we go through. And I know Spencer had a couple picks that Andy was dogging on that definitely didn't dog on us.
No.
So, and it always seems to be the same company every year that Andy's dogging on, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I love it that Spencer's making him eat his words. But that's pretty much what we want from you is your input on our picks and just more or less your color commentating.
I'll do my best.
Oh, I know you will.
And that's all you're gonna get.
2.0.
Yep. So let's throw it around the room the rest of the way. Adam.
Yep, Adam Murray, also with WinField United. You guys have seen me on here before. As far as the role of this podcast goes, I'm not really sure anymore. Kind of MC, kind of just make sure the place doesn't go away.
Comic relief.
Comic relief. I try to throw something every now and again.
You are very good at helping us, especially in the first episode when we're selecting our hybrid with what player comparison.
Yeah, I try to come up with player comparisons. Sometimes they're crap and everybody disagrees with them. Sometimes they're spot on.
Me.
You come up with one and go, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Kind of like when Brady makes a pick and we're all going,
ooh. Yeah. It's a little comedic relief, I suppose.
Who's not going to play this week? Brady Cromer, longtime host.
Chad, same here.
Longtime host, Chad.
Spencer Holsheiser, salesman.
Partial host.
Well,
You've
twice
been
a year.
on here enough. This is what, number 4 we said?
Yeah.
So he's been on here 8 times.
You've been on here more than anybody else. Maybe Adam.
I've got you beat.
Adam's probably got you beat.
Yeah, Adam's got you beat by 1.
So you're employed here, so you're part-time host. Yep. So let's get how do you want to do this, Chad? You want to jump right into this, or what do you think?
Let's give a quick little review since he wasn't here the first time. He's got to kind of
we got to get 2.0 caught up.
We got to get 2.0 caught up.
Good.
So back to the original setup was we wanted to put together a whole plan for a corn bean guy for this area. But we're also basing it off of we're trying to pick specific variety ranges too. So 95, 100 day, 105.
Kind of follow that answer plot.
Kind of follow that answer plot grouping. And then we're picking a flex, like we're picking a fantasy football team, where we want to have more than one position utilized. And then we did a kicker and a defense and, kicker and defense. So yeah, soybeans, that's close enough. So, but it's we selected kind of like we're putting together a fantasy football team where, it's a snake draft. So 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth till we're done. And you can't pick one that's already off the board. So there is some strategy with this thing. So, which is kind of cool to see where the numbers actually ended up because of that. Because it's like we all have our strategy, and except for Brady.
I just picked the field winners.
Yeah.
Continuing picking field winners.
So we all have our own names and stuff. So this is Brady's 95 day, and we'll, after I'm done with Brady's, why don't we get a little bit of a 5,000 feet view from him over there?
Do you want to go through everybody's 95
we'll
day?
go
and then,
through,
and then do you want to have Jeff kind of critique him?
Yeah, I guess we could critique each.
I think that should be a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
All right. So Brady picked cropland 3715. Spencer had 3724 on the cropland side, and then I had 3790. It was a cropland sweep of the 95 day corns.
Well, of course.
So you're probably pretty happy on that one.
Yeah, I'm.
You're welcome, Jeff.
I'm tickled. Thank you very much. I appreciate your all support here. I am pleased with that sweep, and I like the strategy here between a steady Eddy like 3715. You got what I call the utility product of 3724, and then you got the swinging for the fences 3790, which is high risk, high reward. You really kind of went with the trifecta there between those. So how did you all score these out? I'm curious here.
I just want you to hit on that 3715 is the field winner. This is what people should be putting in their field, not their plots. Field.
Correct.
Thank you.
Yep. You got to make sure we got the proper management when you're doing that swing in the miss.
Pat on the back.
Don't hurt your shoulder there.
Yeah,
all right?
I almost did. Did you see that?
I know.
Yeah. That's a big swing.
Waiting to hear a pop
That's
there.
a big swing.
So out of those three, I mean, which one performed the best out of those three, Brady?
So out of those three, I mean, you want to talk about splitting hairs? Both you and Spencer within $2. Within $2. There's a theme here.
Yep.
Within $2, came pretty dang close.
So $2.
Now mine was more on
4/10 of a bushel for the average.
4/10 for a bushel. Jesus.
So it was 972 to 974, and then I came in 902.
Okay, $2.
And this we're talking.
Chad's getting desperate.
What are we going for? This is income based. So this is basing moisture and yield, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's dried down to 15%.
And how many plots did we do this across? Or
I was gonna say, do you want to give a little?
Yeah, let's talk about how
plots we utilized.
Yeah. So the plots we did utilize. This has probably been the most plots we've had. But the 4-way plot up in Adams, the Meltonville plot just north of Carpenter. We also had a Meltonville corn on corn plot just on the other side of Carpenter there. The Alden variety plot. Chris Bartz did have a corn on corn plot
down by Osage.
The Manly Nexus plot, the Rudd Nexus plot. We also had the Rudd answer plot as well. And then the Watamingo answer plot to get some of these earlier maturities. That and to get another data set into it that wasn't just heavily relied on Rudd. So that's kind of where all of our pool came from, and then averaged out between all of those and all those plots, and then that average is where we got our cost back. Was this cost per acre, Spencer? What is
it's revenue after drying costs?
Revenue after drying costs.
So these yields are reported at 15% dry.
Yep.
So then you just take it times whatever price you used.
Which we used 380.
Yep.
Which is
maybe a little low now, but
that was relative to when it was harvested.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, and the soybeans were at around $9, and that's at a 13% there. So this is all into consideration on drying and everything else.
Yep.
So that's where all that, I guess, information comes. Chad, you want to run down the 100-day?
Yep. The 100-day.
You're gonna need more money.
Yeah, I know. Brady, he had 102.13 DeKalb. Spencer had 102.28 DeKalb. And I had 101.33 DeKalb. So it was a DeKalb sweep at the 100-day.
Yeah, I would say you went down the right road there. I mean, that's a tremendous trio there. Chad, you went with the good old reliable 101.33. Yep. And then you got the two newbies, 102.13, 102.28. So I'm curious to hear, because we're still learning about those two, how did your guys' data show for this three-way here?
Chad came in pretty strong here. Obviously with 101.
It had a good year.
133, 135. This is where we take a back seat here. Number 3 is now number 2. Okay, number 2, 102.13. I think had a tremendous year throughout the field. Looked really good. And then coming in at the end was that 102.28.
It wasn't a bad pick.
No,
it was like a utility pick.
It was my worst one of my 4 corn.
Well, and it's one of those home run hitters because the Tricepta can be a high yield product. So if you're going to have when you're going to run out, when you're thinking 101 immediately and then you're going, oh crap, now 102 is gone. You're like, okay, I'm throwing in 102.28 because I know it's going to have some top end option. But you're looking at 963, 929, and then that 102 came in at 958.
I think Chad did a little plot destruction up at 4-way with it. That's what drove my average down.
No, actually, we did it on 102.13, Dallas and I, when we ran through it. So if anything, I tried hurting myself. So
yeah,
it's only right.
Nice work. At least you don't discriminate on the others.
I don't. No, I don't. No.
One thing I'll say here with these 3 is you're highlighting all 3 trade options that are really going to be necessary for the grower here between the Smart Stack Pro, the VT4, as I call it, diet rootworm. And then you got the diet rootworm.
I'm really glad you said that today.
Awesome.
That is a perfect explanation for VT4.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's not trademarked yet, so you're welcome to use it.
Might run with that one. But even like in our plots, I mean, the 102.13 and 102 or 101.33, I mean, they were neck and neck on average. I mean, you're talking about a % difference across all that stuff. And then
statistically the same.
It's pretty much statistically the same. And then I don't know where the 102.28, there it is. It's a couple points, couple % behind those other stuff. Some alternatives that you could have maybe went with that one. I mean, 09888 had a awesome year from what I've seen so far for a 98 day. I mean, it maybe could have played into that 100 day a little bit more than we expected, because that was one we kind of all stayed away from because we were trying to extend the window.
Extend the window of the 100 day.
Right. So I think, there were some, maybe some opportunities there, but maybe that, 40-24 on the cropland side, a relatively new one, but
hindsight's always 2020.
Hindsight's always 2020. I'm just trying to,
the honorable mention on LG's 51C62.
51C62 really was in there too.
Plots, so that would have been also a good pick.
Yep.
Chad, you want to run down 105?
Yeah, I just got to get my screen back up. I was 105. Brady, he had the 105.33 DeKalb. Then Spencer came in with the Brevant 04J45, and I finished up the 105 day with the 104.08 BT4 from DeKalb. Gosh,
we did hit different trait packages again there, Jeff.
Yeah, a little bit of the same.
What's your opinion on these, Jeff?
So 105, like we were discussing earlier, it had its struggles with wet feet, really pulled it back in the data this year, unfortunately, but that thing is still an incredibly solid product. When you look at the trade offerings there and its past performances, that Brevant, the 04J, definitely a horse out in the field. There's no denying that. And then DeKalb's brand new 104.08, that VT4, I know it's limited looks out there this year, and we're still learning that thing, but I think that'll give them a nice refresh at that 104, 105 RM, really kind of to fill the vacancy of 54.38.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it's needed.
Yeah.
So on the results on this side, this one's probably the biggest window we've got. And I'll wait to do mine at the end because I kind of want your input on this since you've got a bigger window than we do on 105. But Spencer absolutely smoked it with Brevant's 04J. And is that the one we need to throw at Andy?
No.
Which, your flex.
That was the 3724.
Oh, your 3720. Perfect. Well, but 04J just absolutely smoked everybody out of the water. I mean, you're talking about a little over $1,000 here.
That one's kind of fell into that same boat as the 104 this year, because there was just not a ton of it out data wise going into this year. Now, I mean, we're talking about it quite a bit.
Yep.
Because that one, they didn't have hardly any plot data or plot points for that one this year, right?
For the 104?
104.
Yeah. The plot seed showed up very late.
Very
It
late.
wasn't even in our
Yeah.
answer
Yeah.
plots.
Yeah.
So maybe some insight trials here and there, grower trials, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 1,018 to Chad had 957, and then 105. I mean, just fell flat on its face this year. And I think you made a good point about the wet feet on this hybrid.
And sadly, to the wet feet, it sounds like we're just making excuses. But when you look back the last 2 to 3 years, we haven't had a wet start to even come close to trying to vet out some of these products.
Right.
And you also throw in some of the planting date considerations is how long did this stuff sit in the ground? Was it the early window that took 3 to 4 weeks to come out? Was it the latter planted that was out maybe in 10 days, 7 to 10 days, but incredibly saturated conditions all the way around? So,
if you had it in a field situation and you had ample drainage and you kept the wet feet away, holy moly, did this thing go. I had a field of it, and now, like I said, the bottom area, rough. It was. Yep. But, I mean, where it was well drained, I mean, there are spots the combine was hitting close to 300 plus.
I mean, your map was probably red, red, green, red, green. There was nothing in between.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there was a lot of that this year, too. It was just red and green.
The comment I got on everybody that planted it was just, they were just impressed with the ear. I mean, it's like, it doesn't, it's not that pretty. We've talked about that
short, fat,
kind of ugly ear. It's not the prettiest ear out there, but
similar to that 56, 65.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It just goes. All right. So,
which sucks because that was my first overall pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you had every right to pick it with how it did last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
anybody you would have picked it, right? Yeah.
You would have took it
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all would have taken it.
We all took it. You just
if I keep losing every year, I'm just going to pick the best one.
Torn ACL, it was out for the year.
Yeah.
It's Nico Collins right now. That's what it is.
Hopefully it's not Caleb Williams the thing, so we should be okay. Didn't regress.
Chad, flex lineup here.
All right.
This is the big dogs.
This is the big dogs. This is the heavy hitters. Brady's flex. Cropland 47-57.
Jim Eggerich's favorite.
Jim's favorite.
Yep.
Spencer had DeKalb 56-26 Tripsepta, and I had 110-10 DeKalb.
The home run hitter.
The home run hitter.
Playing the RM advantage there.
Yep. He stretched it big time.
Hey, be bold.
Yeah, they're giving me crap about that. It's like, you sandbagged me. Damn, you sandbagged us.
I wasn't going to pick it.
Nothing above 106. No, we're not going to do that.
He did. He sat here, and Andy was about to jump into the 108 day, and Chad's like, "Oh, we don't need to talk about 108 day or later. No, we don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that." So then we stopped at Brevant's 108 day, and then we just left it at that. So,
friend of mine always used to say, "Don't hate the player, hate the game."
It's like playing poker.
Exactly.
You got to bluff sometimes.
Yep.
Jeff, what's your thoughts and opinions here?
So, all three of these products are exceptional. I don't think there's really a bad decision was made. I think the clear upper hand was just playing the RM game. So I applaud you to that. So
and 110-10 did take the spot by a couple bucks here. You're looking at 10-20, 10-08, and then mine came in at 986. So you did take the cake on the 110-10. Just goes to show what you can get out of 110 day.
Well, you got to manage it properly. I mean,
correct.
You ain't going to go out there and plant every acre to that by any means, but everybody's got a 40 or an 80 that they could get started on.
Yep.
And let's go crazy on it.
Are these the February planting guys this year, or what do you think?
March, early March.
But hey, 56-26. When you look at the yield, it was only 3 bushel off 110-10.
It was a moisture thing,
and that should say something too, right?
Yeah, I mean,
56-26 had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, it did.
I want to throw this 110-10 in there too. Chad had a very little window of collection on this, so
that's a little.
Well,
so you had the Rudd answer plot, you had the Rudd Nexus plot, and I guess you had it in Bart's corn plot.
Yeah, you only had three out of three.
Yeah, but what was the average of those three?
Out of the 10 plots we used, there were only
268.
268. Like I said, small percentage. Put it across every acre.
He saw an opportunity
and
he took it.
Hey, don't hate the player.
You gotta make like a
don't hate the
board
player, hate the game.
That's right.
of every year
Can we
what Chad's
just-
excuses are for the year.
I, it's a very popular saying, but I think we need to have that on the back here. Jeff Ulsterhouse, don't hate the player, hate the game. It's like the Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott quote there.
Good pick, Chad.
Now the ones that are forgotten but appreciated, the defense and the kicker, the soybeans. You want to hit the defense first?
All right. So defense, Brady had NK15 G9s. Spencer had NK21 C2s, and I had the NK16 Z6s. It was an NK sweep for defense.
So before you jump into this, Jeff, can you just kind of explain what you talked to us earlier about just bean yields in general this year?
Yeah. So, I mean, as we look at this year, I look at a lot of plots, a lot of data. And when I look at bean data, it all just kind of washes out. You don't see a lot of consistent home runs. You don't see a lot of duds. And as you look across summarized data, I see more localized differences. And the plots that had stress, you see a little more spread. The plots that caught some rain, it's actually a pretty tight spread. A lot of times 8-10 bushels, the top to the bottom. And when you look at, replicated data where you might have an LSD of 4-5 bushel, a lot of them are statistically the same. So I think you need to step back and kind of look at some historical performance out of like the last year or two. And then really you pair that in with what are your agronomic needs or watchouts in your area? Is it white mold? Is it standability? Are you battling IDC? Wet feet that you need to pay attention to phytophthora? I mean, let those steer you on the decision being made, not just the plot winners. Because we all know with beans, the hero one year can be the zero the next. And maybe Andy called you guys out when you were making your picks, but I'm kind of curious, what did that shake out for you guys here with your defensive picks? So
It was interesting.
Well, to be fair, I kind of on my pick, the 16 Z6s, that was a panic move. I saw
100% a panic move.
It was a panic move.
100% a panic move.
If you want to listen to it, that's on our last podcast.
But the worst part is I only did $1 better than you with my 15s, and that was a calculated pick. So Chad rounding off the bottom here at 618, 619 for myself, and then 633 on the 21C2s. And 21C2s,
they had a good year.
Phenomenal year. Looked fantastic. Some other mentions, I'd say the Brevant 214s, right?
Yep.
Help me out here.
22 Stein.
Yeah, the 22 Steins.
Yeah.
There's another one I'm missing on the 2.0 side. Maybe I'm not.
214,
I did 214s and we did the 22s, and then there's
I got the new Stein.
the 2020s from Cropland.
Yeah, 2020. We have that next.
Oh,
I picked
Don't
that.
get the cart too far in front of the horse.
Sorry, that's what I'm looking. Okay, Chad,
said
why don't you check out the kickers here?
The 1830s.
Yeah, the 1830s.
1830s.
Those had a good year.
Yeah. All right. So rounding out the kickers, Brady with another NK number 19 T8s. Spencer, Cropland 2230s, and I rounded it out with Cropland 2020s. About the same thing.
Why are you shaking your head there?
I was expecting more out of the 19 T8s, to be honest with you.
Well, that was me too on the 2020s.
They were worse than my 15s, and they're supposed to be a high yielder. Any insight there?
Years are exactly the same.
I know. Didn't listen to myself though.
Well, the other thing too, we're seeing. I mean, some of these products you can see did suffer more from lack of August rains.
Yes.
So think about how the yield is made with the bean. Is it in bean size, pod set?
Yes.
And some of the shorter statured beans that aren't going to close the canopy quite as well early on in the year. You're going to have a little more open canopy. You're going to lose a little more water to shading. So keep that in mind on those medium short statured beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
excuses. That's what I'm making.
Thank you.
Excuses.
I appreciate that. I didn't have any. I was hoping that you would provide some.
I could see the fear in your eyes. You're like, Jeff, help me out here. So I'm like,
yeah,
all right.
Like, Jeff, please tell me why my picks are so bad every single year. No, you can't help me on that, but we'll get it right. We'll get it right. So I rounded off the bottom at $600. Spencer at $624 and Chad at $627. So that's kind of where everything shook out. I don't know. You want to?
Yields though are so close.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
And like if you just look at the average, on the way left, just
Yeah, I'm
all 66 to 69 within 3 bushel.
Yeah.
That's header loss right there. That's rounding error.
That's rounding error. That's moisture.
Quit giving Chad more excuses.
That's how would you say statistically
statistically insignificant.
Yeah. I mean, we're all within a bushel on our beans.
Oh yeah.
On average, I mean, we're all within a bushel, which sucks because there should be hopefully a difference between them, but it just goes back to your point, right?
It goes to show you're all great at picking winners.
Hey, I like hearing that, Jeff. I like hearing that.
Oh my goodness.
It's getting deep, isn't it?
You're giving Brady hope for next year.
I don't know if I need hope. At this point, I'm just the Make-A-Wish kid. At this, I mean, average on the corn side, I'm at 245. Spencer came out at 256, and then Chad just half a bushel under at 257.5. So to round off. And to congratulate the repeat winner, Spencer.
The Kansas City Chiefs of this thing.
He took it by $29.64. $29.64. You need some help there?
That. Do you take card?
Do you take card? Yeah, take card.
Cash only.
3% charge on that.
Surcharge,
that card.
Yeah.
That surcharge.
Interest is at least 10s.
Is it?
I mean, we're at the total here. 51.89 for Spencer, 51.59 for Chad, and then rounding off the bottom, last but not least, 49.56.
How the hell can we get that damn close?
It's been the closest, really.
I mean, Jesus.
And we use as much data as we've ever used.
I know.
That's probably why. Honestly,
that's
probably why. It's because our data pool was bigger. That and I maybe can learn to pick some hybrids next time. One of the two.
Just got to quit picking field winners.
I'm sorry. I'm in field winner
mode.
Next
year it works.
That's what I was.
Next year it works.
Yeah.
So Brady, that's what I was doing the last couple of years is, what would I plant out at my field? And sometimes we all fall into that trap because we do also do a little farming.
That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Because, but for me, it's just like the way this thing is, you almost got to find something out in the plot and run with it.
We're going for racehorses.
Yeah.
Well, and here, do you want to throw something back at Spencer? His beans, he only had them in 3 plots here on his 2230s.
Yeah. Yeah. There wasn't that many units. What do you do?
That was my 110-10.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll give you that.
I would say another, I guess, cool fact here, our most replicated that was in every plot, 10133 or a 35 variant, the Brevant 04J, and then I'd say 105 except for the Manly plot. We had in every single one. And then it looks like 104 as well was in every plot except for one.
That's kind of crazy. That was in almost every one since that's like a brand new number. I'm surprised we got that.
I also think my problem here is maybe I should look at the Rudd lineup a little bit more because both of you have every single corn number and bean number in the Rudd plot. And how do you guys not have 3715 in the Rudd plot?
Because we moved it into the 95-day set this year.
There. See? There
You're the only person that was happy with it in the 100-day test. And we moved it in the 95-day test, which is where it's happy and where it should have been.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it's up.
They need a 95-day set out at Rudd.
It's a space thing.
We need a lot of things.
Just giving you recommendations.
Feedback accepted.
Noted.
He needs a lot of help, is what he's saying.
You got a piece next to there, Murray?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
Sure.
You want to jump in on something?
No.
Chad's willing to go 50-50 with his card there.
Well, can we pay with the first 50 with your card then?
Oh gosh. Okay. What?
Maybe let's talk about what a couple months ago we did this.
Yeah. Yep.
What's changed on like our thought process, or maybe 1 or 2 numbers we would add if we had the chance again?
You want to go first, Spencer? Or you want to think about it?
Can.
Okay. I would. I'd probably jump in with 106.98 on the VT4 side, bringing in that that Diet Smart Stacks Pro, or how'd you call it?
Smart Spec. Yeah, Diet
rootworm or Diet Rootworm.
Diet Rootworm. Yep. Sorry.
Rootworm.
Brings in Diet Rootworm with a little bit of racehorse with the RNAi. That one was a good one. Again, that 5626 pick was a good one. I'm kicking myself. And the weird part is, last year with kind of I wouldn't say the shortage, but just a lower supply of 105, we did have a lot of 5626 go out.
Yes.
So, and it almost worked better in everyone's favor to, if not, split it or plan it alongside. And so that worked out really well. Kind of an off coincidence pick there. But on the beans, 1830s did really well. Very happy with them, where they look in the plot. I guess Chad's got our plot set up. 17. Sorry, what I keep
173.
173s on the Brevant side looked really good as well. I think overperformed in every single plot we had them in, along with the 214s on the Brevant side. And I think it's something that we need to continue to move into on some genetic diversity. We've been so locked in on one or another.
Yeah, a lot of Stein genetic background on most of our numbers. But there's, some Syngenta and, like I said, the Brevant stuff starting to kind of hit now. So exactly.
But so those are my two hits. It would be on the 106, 98, and then probably I'm going to pick the 173s and like pair them with the 1830s as a honorable mention, or should have picked. You've got the data in front of you there, Chad, on the corn. What are you thinking on the corn?
My thing was, like, we missed on 06. Did you say 06Y?
No, I didn't. That'd be a good one.
That was an honorable mention we talked about.
Yeah, it's an honorable mention we talked about. Maybe if I would have went with that, I don't know if that would have been any better than my 110-10. It was actually probably in the range. It's just probably a moisture thing. Could have that 30. I probably don't know if it would have been $30, but there's some of it there.
No, it could have been $30,
but it could have been $30. And I didn't know. And I did mention, I could look into it, but I don't think I care enough to.
You do. You just don't want to know the answer.
Yeah,
sore loser.
Yeah. I got to start game planning for next year.
Game planning.
I mentioned 9888 on the DeKalb side. I mean, that one looks like that could be an interesting product. And then some of these new experimentals that you guys are coming out with, 23 100A, that thing killed it in the plots that we had it in, but we only had it in one or two plots. But I mean, you got some new genetics coming forward on that side of it. Bean side, I'll throw in, Brevant 21 or 214. 20 EH 92 on the Stein side, and then 1525 Cropland. 1525 actually had a sneaky end of the year.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
He's just here taking credit.
Yeah.
I love it. So,
anyone we missed there, Spencer?
Spencer, jump in with that 105.
No, you guys pretty much covered them all. The 55C32 from LG was another good one that we had mentioned as an honorable mention. I planted some of that at home.
Did really good at your place.
Yeah, did really well.
Smart Stacks Pro.
Smart Stacks Pro option.
If anybody is watching our podcast, as they should be on our YouTube channel, Nexus Cooperative, you can see my water bottle. That's about the size of the ear that 55, that 105 day.
Oh, yeah. If it's kind of isolated by itself.
Yeah, I always call it the Arizona Arizona Tea can size. But this is the size of that ear. It's massive. You talk to Mick with LG Seeds, he's going to always call it Spencer corn.
Yes.
So it'll take out a small child. So
maybe one of the beans that we didn't think of is like the 15EE32 base genetics. That
I didn't have good luck with that this year. It was good yield, but too much white mold.
Yeah,
too much.
Yeah,
I'd say it got hammered.
Right.
It got hammered with white mold, but I think it. Last year was the number one bean. I think it's still the number one bean. It's like the staple.
Yeah, it's something you throw in the mix.
You throw in the mix. It's kind of like how 5438 is now. Like if you got any of it, you throw it on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have left, right? Because that's how good the new stuff is.
Yeah.
Right.
So what's your take? What's your 2 cents? What did we miss? What's your honorable mentions on hybrids?
Here's one that, as long as he's here, I'm not happy with cropland on, is they're getting away from the 21-22s. Those are my favorite beans.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Ooh.
We've had really good luck with those beans around this area.
Struggle with so much white mold in my area that it was a rock star for it. For a late bean, too.
Late bean.
Well, it's late for us.
Come on, late bean up here. We're getting past 2-0. That's really late.
Yeah, that was.
You guys are just in too big of a hurry to get harvest done.
Well,
yeah, we got
That's, remember, beans are just a cover crop for the next year around here.
Cover crop for the corn.
Yep.
No, the 21-22, your point's very valid. It was a workhorse, took white mold very well, and had good yield performance. The products we're bringing forward, I think, have an extra gear yield-wise, and the 2024s, I would say, are as good, if not better on white mold, and better on standability.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's part of the 2020 package.
Correct. Yep.
Oh, that's going to be dangerous.
I know.
Better be.
You're welcome.
God.
So the other honorable mentions that I'd call out is, at least on the cropland side, we've got a new 98-day, both Tricepta and VT4, that we just launched here, so stay tuned for that. Number's 3818. So there will be some supply of that. So that's one I would give a nudge to in the plots for next year. Along with that, since you like to bend the rules for later RM.
This isn't a we. This is a he.
No. These actually play within your rules.
Oh, okay.
Well, we followed the rules last year.
So you've got the 4757 in there, Eggrich's favorite.
Yes.
I would throw 4770 and our 4839 Power Core.
Do you have 4770? 4770 was in here. That did really well this year.
And if you really...
Was that 1 or 2 plots, though? I added my corn on corn plot, but not...
Is it 1 or 2? Right here.
47. Yeah, it's 3. It was, we had 1 plot. We had 1 plot.
Yeah.
And
did really well,
did well in the 1 plot.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was at your plot.
Yeah. It's number 3. Yeah, number 3 on the plot list.
Number 3 on the plot list.
If you really want to bend the rules and spend some money on propane, 5320 Smart Stack Pro.
That's a little late. I got one guy, he always buys 2 bags of 110 day.
Well, hey,
that's a rock star.
What I gathered earlier is you're not looking for field favorites, right? For this contest.
Well,
you're
2 out of the 3 of us are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, okay, so the winners are looking for plot winners, right? So you can just stay out of the argument.
Okay, here you go. Go, guys, go ahead.
Well, but I mean, we're still taking into dryer gas as part of the account of it.
Yeah. I'm just saying you're going with 110, 5320 is not that far away from it. So if you want to be bold, be bold.
If we should
Spencer, or come on, Brady, be bold.
Well, I want to be bold by putting 4757 in our in the 103 category.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'm not agreeing.
No, sorry, the 104 category, like we talked about today.
You could pull it down to 105 because it flowers early and does finish pretty quickly, but you aren't going to pull that down to 102.
Yeah, just because Jim said it flowers like 104 day doesn't mean it's 104 day.
Don't think you can take a pencil and turn that 7 into an ugly 2.
You can try.
It's a late 102 day. It really works.
Yeah, that could go in the 100-day maturity range.
Yeah. That's how Brady got through high school.
Lakeville math
was an A.
Yeah. Add a line.
Oh boy.
Lakeville math.
Thank you.
So those are my honorable mentions there.
It's funny. So you said that 98-day Tricepta. I think 3852 is an honorable mention too.
I do too. That's a solid one. Got a lot of guys I sell it to like it.
Yep.
Field winner over plot winner, right? On that one, or is that?
That's a field favorite.
Field favorite.
That's not going to be a plot winner.
So let's go into like an earlier day one, like at that 01X on the Provence side. That one kind of underperformed from what we were thinking, didn't it not?
We had high hopes.
We had high hopes for that one.
It kind of.
Let's talk about like high hope numbers that kind of, what happened to them.
So I'm not the Provence guy.
We talked about 105, but
okay.
We talked about 105 already, but I mean, the 01X, I think it underperformed a little bit because a little of the same problem that the 105 did.
It could be wet feet. It could be that it's got a really big appetite for nitrogen.
That's one thing I've heard too.
And a lot of that Corteva material likes its nitrogen. It's just nature of the beast. So if you're going to find something that's going to be tipping on the edge, it might roll back. 01X kind of reminds me of Boom 18 when it first came out. It looked really good. And this is about 3 years back. And it was kind of underwhelming in the plot data the first year. but it still is a rock solid product.
Yes.
So don't write it off. Everyone has a bad day once in a while. Don't just write it off on its first look.
I was going to say boom did boom.
Yeah.
In both ways.
Yeah. I did.
When it was great, it boomed. When it was bad, it really boomed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
because I think the common factor is water, nitrogen this year. I mean, we're just so short of nitrogen, so much water. I mean, that hurt a lot of these things.
And we probably saw the biggest nitrogen shortfalls on the manured acres.
Yes.
Fall anhydrous and manured acres.
Mm-hmm. So I was doing some of my own data at home. I mean, that's $100 value on the nitrogen thing this year.
And let's not forget the sulfur that comes along with it.
Because
that can be flushed down the toilet just as easily as nitrate. And
you mentioned that today too.
We probably have a bigger sulfur appetite out there than what we have historically because we're getting less from atmospheric deposition. And these hybrids have a bigger appetite. We're pushing higher and higher yields. So I don't think the 20 pounds per acre annually is enough. I think we're probably closer to that 40 mark if you want to grow consistently 250 plus bushel corn. And not just on the sweet spot in the field, but
the whole field.
Field averages.
Field average. Yeah. Anything more, Chad? We really wrapped this up.
We did kind of wrap this up kind of fast.
Yeah.
It's okay. We know who the winner was. Congratulations, Spencer.
Yep. Thank you.
Short little golf clap for you.
golf clap.
There's a reason he didn't bring the trophy today is because he
already knew.
He had the feeling that it wasn't going to happen. He had the feeling it was going to stay. He just had to dust it off and made sure it looked good.
He doesn't even answer to a bribe. I mean, God.
He pulled his wallet out. He gave him the card.
I gave him the card.
My
He gave him the card with the low limit.
My 06Y was 3 bushel away from 300. I couldn't just lie and say it went 300.
Well, I didn't see you doing this when you were doing the plots, so I think it's okay.
Oh, the lift it up and lean it on
that's
the
Chad's.
I shut up.
You know, it always makes us. This is always fun when we're pulling plots. I mean, we three each pull different plots and actually, so when Chad and I take the 4-way one out, it's always, hey, what'd this one do for weight?
Yeah.
Hey, what'd this one do for weight? It's like we can't wait, you know, till the end of the day.
Doing the math.
It's like, hey, what's the weight on this one? Hey, let me do this quick. Let me see how good I did on this one.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, was that Spencer's pick or was that our pick?
Yeah.
What was it? Which is good because then you know you don't have any of that.
Then you're hate watching the whole.
Damn it! I'll tell you what. Every time 04 came across that scale, it's like, dude, stupid 04.
04 was a great pick.
He was a can. You know, it was when we were looking at your banded charts that you had on that. You know, you could just see the green and the reds, and this one was definitely one of those just solid green across the area. So.
It was a good pick. It was a real good pick. Yeah. But I think we all had good picks. I mean,
yeah, nobody really had a horrible team.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you got skunked, Brady.
I picked some good players. You know what? It was really, honestly, it came down to 105. The 105, the 105, 33, 35. Just didn't hit this year, and that's okay.
So what if that thing did another 10 bushel? Just can you plug that in there and just say it? Let's say it did. What was it?
So he's got in here as 233.9.
So let's just say it's like 245. That's
I still would have lost. But it was a very, very slim margin.
Yeah.
At that point, very, very slim. Yeah. Just I'm like cents under 5,000. So it would have been about 150, probably close to $200 on the difference, which would have been the closest I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you're improving. That's good.
Improving.
You're learning.
We've done 4 of these and I'm improving.
After 30 years, you should catch up.
I will. I'll have to keep picking these plot winners. So, you know.
So does this mean that you're done or are we going to be able to keep going?
Probably should be.
Oh, Jesus.
I think we need to have another.
He needs to try the Kansas City Chiefs.
This is Spencer's Tom Brady year, I think. He won his Super Bowl with
just go out on top.
Oh no, sorry, your Peyton Manning year because he went out on top.
Yeah, but he's walking. It's not like he's crippled out there doing something that he shouldn't be doing.
So he did his Peyton Manning. He's walking out on top.
I think we need to add like a fourth. I think that would help.
I will say to you what I already said to you. You must find your replacement, just like some boards around the area.
It's just like the co-op board.
It's you're here until you die, or you got to find your replacement. One of the two. So
I gotta give somebody else a chance. We got some new young guys coming up.
I think we got. I'm not throwing names out there, but I will. Chris Bartz, I think, has your number. Chad.
My number?
Yeah, I think he wants to take you down too. So
why? What did I do?
Well, you're out here picking 1-10-10 and bending the rules.
I'm not bending the rules. That's a flex. There's
Brady
a reason
did say
why
he would hire me as a consultant for him.
So now pay to
You
win.
didn't need to tell him our secret.
yeah.
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Pay to win.
Yeah, that's what Chad tried to do. It
tried
didn't work out.
It didn't work.
It didn't work out.
He's
I
just
couldn't
bad
let
at
a
it.
Vikings fan win.
No, that's
Oh,
okay.
jeez.
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks,
you.
thanks, Andy 2.0, Jeff, with WinField, and
You're invited anytime.
you're welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you.
That Andy guy,
Yeah.
Andy, you're not welcome back anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, we got your replacement.
We
found his replacement.
We found a better Andy. So
am I here till I die also?
you are here until you find your replacement. Adam doesn't get to leave
you
either.
didn't realize that when you took his job that was part of this.
Well, there's a reason why he just asked me about this
He
last
couldn't-
week. Like, hey, what are you doing after the
Andy
meeting?
found
I'm
his
like,
replacement.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was in that little
That was in the contract.
That was in the
Yeah,
small
it was in the
That was
very,
on the
very
fine
small
print.
print. It's at the bottom.
So there's the fine print, and then there's a very small print.
Yeah.
That was down there. You
I
just
just
didn't
thought
look.
that
I
was
promised those
footer.
guys from Nexus that I'd be here twice a year. Sign here. Put initial.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That's great. Thank you to our champion for returning for his possibly last time, Chad.
It's not his last time.
I said possibly.
He'll come back.
He'll come
again.
back.
It's like the Tom Brady rule. We
Is he
don't
gonna
know if
play?
he's coming back until he's
coming
dead.
back.
He's gonna do like
He's
the
gonna have
Brett
his
Favre, go
avocado
away for a year,
vodka, and
come
he'll be fine.
Avocado vodka.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah,
That's a thing?
yeah.
Yuck.
Chad, thank you for your participation this
Oh.
year. I don't have a trophy for you,
Uh,
and I don't have one for myself. I'll hit you with this outro. Follow us on all of our social media accounts, pretty much Nexus Cooperative or Nexus Co-op, wherever you go. I did hit up our Instagram last time. Please go there. There's some pretty cool pics of just different things we're doing around our locations. Again, I mentioned it throughout the podcast, but you can see our lovely faces and Jeff and Adam and the rest of us here on our YouTube page, Nexus Cooperative. And then listening to your podcast, you've gotten here. So anywhere you can get your podcast is pretty much where you can listen to us. Otherwise, we do have a player on our website, nexus.coop/podcast. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.